So moving on to the Vikings. Lockout looks like it's going to end. The players are going to meet, I believe, Thursday, and then the owners will ratify on Friday as far as getting this done. So free agency could possibly start as early as Saturday. And as it relates to the Vikings, it looks like Ray Edwards and Sidney Rice are going to be unrestricted free agents.
Yep, kind of big news for the Vikings. Sidney Rice, to me, is the bigger loss because I think he's doing more for our team. I don't get where Ray Edwards thinks he's this good because I've never seen him. I've never seen him back up his play. If he was this good, he would be on our team starting every down, would he not?
Oh, I agree. And he was going to break the sack record 3 years ago. He did say he would break the all-time sack record.
That is the only thing I will remember this guy for in 10 years from now. No matter where he goes, no matter how good he gets, no matter how many Pro Bowls he goes to, I will think to myself, that's the guy who's going to break the sack record as a Viking.
You know what he reminds me of? Is Al Noga. Remember when we had Al Noga? And he was okay. And he made some tackles. He had some sacks. But when Al Noga left, did you really go, boy, losing an Al Noga really cost us some victories? No, you didn't. I think I completely agree with you on that.
Didn't he park a Trans Am on the Hardee's drive-through in Mankato too?
No, that would have been Keith Millard.
Keith Millard.
Yeah, so if you're in the Mankato area when training camp starts, look out for those crazy Vikings. And once again, allegedly. Always say allegedly. So Sidney Rice, that would be a big loss for us. And I think the chances of us re-signing him are about 2% because Drew Rosenhaus is his agent. The things they pulled last year with the late surgery, holding him out, I think he's gone.
Things that can benefit the Vikings in this area, you can find a receiver in the NFL these days that can be serviceable, I think. I think Sidney Rice had one good year, did he not?
He did, and he had a pretty good end of the year with Joe. I mean, he looked like he was kind of back to being where he was, but you can't really judge with Joe Webb being your quarterback.
Do it again then, and then we'll pay you. If the Vikings want to remedy this and never want to say Sidney Rice's name again, go get Vincent Jackson tomorrow.
That would be a great choice. There's some big names out there. Steve Smith from Carolina, he's also a free agent.
A little older, but real reliable. You
got a couple of lawbreakers in Santonio Holmes and Plaxico Burress also out there. I don't think Plaxico is a Vikings type of player, but there is a lot of high-end receiver talent out there.
You see my point where you can go find somebody to replace him, and you can kind of,
But we have to replace him. If you don't get someone there, all of a sudden Percy Harvin is not Percy Harvin.
Outside of Percy Harvin, who do we have? Who's starting across the Percy Harvin? I mean,
yeah. Can we start 3 tight ends because we drafted Kyle Rudolph and we've got Schenko? I don't know what you do.
And we don't go throw a ton of money to Marcus Robinson because he's out there.
Right.
Please don't do that. Go make a splash. Go get Vincent Jackson. You know what I mean? Go get somebody so that the kid has somebody to throw to.
Well, there's some money from burying to be had. You get rid of that guy, and let's free up some money to go get that salary cap. It looks like the Vikings might be right at the cap number. 120 million, give or take, is what the cap number is going to be at. So we still have a decision to make on Ben Lieber. I have a feeling he's gone.
I do too.
Very nice player. I love what Ben Lieber did for us. But you've got to hope that the Brinkleys and the Aaron Hendersons have developed enough where they can step in and you won't miss them because you're going to pay Greenway.
Yeah, definitely tough decisions, but you got to pay the leaders on your team, the people that are going to be making all the plays. Greenway is that guy. Trying to figure out some players out there that I know are free agents to try and shore up some of the deficiencies the Vikings may have. It's kind of hard to envision like a Logan Mankins coming in here for the offensive line. Boy, would that look good.
Or Endi Asamoah coming in as a cornerback. Joseph from Cincinnati. There's some, Drayton Florence, I believe, is even out there. There's some high-end talent, and obviously Asamoah would be my dream if we could get him because we've already talked the Cedric Griffin thing. You don't know what his knees are going to be like, and Winfield is getting older. But we're right up against the cap. We still have to sign Adrian
He's a $20 million a year guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's going to make Peyton Manning money just to cover players, and it's insane. But interesting time of year in the NFL with the lockout coming to a close. We think, we hope.
Right.
And then it sounds like they're going to swing right into free agency and swing right into training camp because right now I believe we should be opening training camp.
Some teams will be opening training camps next week, and then the Vikings, I believe, the following week. So I believe they're still going to be in Mankato. It sounds like everything's good to go. I believe they've given the word that they think everything's coming to a head. But offensive line, you said Mankins. There is a couple spots we could use there. I listened to Anthony Herrera on the radio, and he took it personally that people are attacking the offensive line and questioning what they did. hopefully that's motivation, because I think everyone had a great right to question what they did, because they were not the same offensive line when we went to the championship game against the Saints.
Are we done with Ryan Cook? You know,
I hope so.
Are we done with some of those kids that we found out can't play?
Well, we're hopefully done with the Brad Childress mistakes, the Tavares Jackson, the Ryan Cook. Hopefully, the Childress era, we're going to wipe that away and not think about that guy and his players ever again.
If we didn't learn they couldn't play, we definitely learned last year, I think.
Well, Tavares just wants a chance. All he's looking for is a chance, and he probably could be that player that he hoped he always could be.
Yeah. Looking forward to that chance.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's in the AFC.
Your expectations of the Vikings this year?
6-10. If we get to 6-10, and I know we talked about developing some of these young guys, but Ponder comes out and can make some throws, pretty heady guy.
Does Ponder start this year?
At this point, I see no reason not to. You know, if you shore up your offensive line enough to the fact that the kid's not going to die on a daily basis, you have to start him. You made your bed. You know, used a high first-round draft pick on him. So I don't see that. Joel Webb is probably not an alternative. And the way it sounds, Tyler Thigpen is kind of the thinking as a backup. So I don't want Tyler Thigpen at the range. I'd like him there telling Ponder when he screws up. But I don't expect us to go to the playoffs anyway. No. So if we're not going to get the kid hurt, put him out there, let him learn.
I'm still a little baffled at the Kyle Rudolph draft pick.
I
don't know what to tell you there.
People say he's first-round talent. I think we could have worried about a tight end next year. And I don't care who we would have signed. We could have re-signed Schenkel. We could have talked Kleinsauce another year. It seems like we had more holes on this team than a third tight end for this year.
I agree with you that Ponder starts. I think that makes the most sense right now as it sits.
Do we get Peterson signed before camp? Or before the season starts? Because that's going to be ongoing. That's going to be a distraction.
And no one's even talking about it because of the lockout, so I don't know much about it. My gut feeling would probably say no. It's going to be one of those guys that I want to play the season and talk about it after the season. But
there's no way he's a Viking forever though, right? There's no way we lose him
unless we trade him.
Do you know what a marketing disaster that would be for this franchise? It'd be
like trading Joe Mauer, I know. But he's got to be a Viking for absolutely.
But at least until you get Ponder a few years into his career where he looks like he'll be the face of the franchise, you got to keep Peters.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise it's Percy Harvin and maybe Jared Allen.
Right, and you need to see more out of Jared Allen this year.
Yeah.
You know, that defensive line's got to play a lot better than it did. I guess you could say that probably about any position except for Peterson and probably Harvin.
I would agree, I would agree that with that point. I would agree that 6-10 is probably what...
Wow.
I would agree that 6-10 would be what we're shooting for.
That lightning strike was close. I think it almost got us here in the studios.
Yeah, the upper Midwest.
Yeah, the storm that just won't die. So, with that interruption behind us, 6-10, that's kind of the high water mark. I'd expect at least to win 6 games, but I'm hoping...
I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't looked at the schedule too much, but I don't think the Lions are automatic gimme wins anymore this year. I think the Packers beat us twice, and I think if we split with the Bears, we'd be lucky as well. So there's a couple losses in the bank right there, and I think we draft the top 10 again.
I think we do, and I think that's okay.
I do too.
I don't want to be losing for 3 or 4 years, but for a couple of years, as long as we're making the right picks, any more Kyle Rudolph picks, and we're just beating our heads against the wall.
And as a fan, I don't want to lose grasp of where we actually are either. The truth is we're not competing with the Packers. We may not even be competing with the Bears. We're probably competing with the Lions in the league.
Yeah, we're just trying to rebuild and a quick rebuild.
Yep, the Lions and the Rams and the people like that, and it is what it is. And we're gonna have to write it out.
Right, and a new stadium hopefully will keep people energized. Hopefully that's gonna get done in a special session.
Yep, with the broke state.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're out of business, but let's get that stadium done.
Yep,
I agree. So that's about all we've got for now, sports fans. Thanks for checking us out again. Sports Underground Fantasy Draft Update. We're going to do that in about 3 weeks. We're going to see where free agency plays out, and so we have a grasp on what we want to give you there. Rundown, of course, the usual names, running backs, quarterbacks, Michael Vick, Adrian Peterson, and then give you a few sleepers that we think are going to play. And we've got a pretty good track record of fantasy football, so I think you might want to check that out and listen to what we have to say. So, he's Mike, I'm Kent. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you here soon, right back on the Sports Underground. Wow, did I shit my pants when that happened? I did too. I want to see